everyone, I'm Yutan. Today I'm going to read the story Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You all read this story already, right? One winter day, a young queen stood sewing by her window. As she watched the feathery snowflakes fall, her needle slipped. 3 drops of ruby-red blood fell onto the snow. The queen sighed. "I wish I had a child," she said, "with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as an ebony wood." Her wish came true. The queen daughter had skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony. The king was delighted and named her Snow White. But his joy was mixed with misery, for the young queen died. "My child needs a mother," she thought. Within an year, he had married again. His new wife was proud and vain. Her heart was full of love for herself. For herself, she had none for anyone else. The only thing she wanted was to be the most beautiful woman in the world. The new queen paid no attention to Snow White, who grew more lovely every day. Then one dearful morning, the queen asked, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of us all?" And the mirror said, "Actually, it's Snow White." The queen was pink with rage, and her beautiful face scolded into the mirror. "I wouldn't have it," she snarled. Whenever the queen asked her question, the mirror gave the same reply. Finally, she couldn't bear it any longer. "Snow White must die," she declared. A deadly plan. The queen called her royal huntsman, her heart bursting with jealousy. "Take Snow White to the forest and kill her. I can't stand her near me. Bring me back her lung and liver so I know she's dead." The huntsman was horrified, but he had to obey. Snow White chattered happily as they went into the forest. The huntsman didn't say a word. Under a giant oak tree, he took out a knife and pulled her from her horse. What are you doing?" she shouted in alarm. "Queen's orders," said the huntsman sadly. "She wanted me to kill you." "What?" cried Snow White. "No, please, let me go," she begged. Her dark eyes filled with tears, and the huntsman took pity on her. As she stood there, he stopped. A wild pig in the distance. He spotted a wild pig in the distance. "I'll take its lungs and liver to the queen," she thought, "and Snow White will be safe." He turned to Snow White. "Run then," he said, "but never return to the place." Deep in the forest, Snow White ran past twisty trees and scratched brambles. Soon her black hair was tangled with leaves. She ran until the sun sank and the forest grew dark. Thorny branches like witch's finger reached out to catch her. Still she ran. She ran until her legs could barely hold her. And then she saw a cottage. Maybe someone here can help me, she thought. To her dismay, there was no one home. She leaned against the door to catch her breath, and it swung open. Snow White stumbled inside. The first thing she saw was a teeny table with 7 teeny chairs. The Snow White smelled fresh bread and honey, and her mouth watered. After running all day, she was starving. Sitting down, she helped herself to bread and honey and drank every drop of milk from all 7 mugs. She put down the last mug and yawned. Running all day was exhausting. 7 teeny beds with flat pillows stood along one wall. Snow White tried bed after bed. The first bed was too hard. The second was too narrow. By the 7th, she was so tired she crumpled up on it anyway. While Snow White slept, the cottage door opened and the 7 dwarfs trooped in. They each lit a candle and looked around surprised. Who's been sitting on my chair? Who's been in our cottage? Who drank my milk? Who ate my bread? Who ate my honey? Who tried my bed? Who's on my bed? Quietly, they gathered around Snow White and watched her sleeping. Her hair's as black as ebony. Her lids are as red as blood. Her skin's as white as snow. She's beautiful, they sighed together. The next morning, Snow White was woken by the seven songs sung very badly. She jumped out of bed in a panic, but the dwarfs were so friendly, so she forgot to be afraid. When she told them about the queen, the dwarfs were disgusted. Stay here, they said. We'll take care of you. Pretty skills to sell. In her palace bedroom, the queen was singing too. Smiling at her reflection, she asked her usual question. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of us all? Well, queen, you are fair. No doubt about it. But the mirror chanted and said chantedly, but Snow White is fairer. She's living in a cottage in the forest, it added. Snow White is alive. The queen spat in fury. That huntsman tricked me. She was so angry she couldn't eat or sleep. Instead, she spent every second plotting how to kill Snow White. At last, she disguised herself as an old peddler. Packing a basket with ribbons and silk, she set off for the forest. Snow White was cleaning the cottage when an old woman came to the door. Pretty things to sell, the woman cackled. Silk and skeins and bows. What lovely silk, cried Snow White, stroking a belt. Here, my dear, said the old woman. Try it. Try it on. She looped the belt around Snow White's waist and pulled it tighter and tighter. Stop! Haha, I'll be the fairest soon. The woman kept pulling until Snow White collapsed. The dwarfs came home to find Snow White lying in the doorway. Shocked, they saw the belt squeezing the life out of her. Wiping out a knife, one of the dwarfs sliced through it. Snow White spluttered and began to breathe again. Where's the old pillar woman? She gasped. What old woman? A dwarf began. No one knows we're here. He gave a sudden shout. Hey, it must be that wicked queen. She tricked you. The dwarf looked serious. You're in grave danger, said one. The queen will keep trying to kill you, said another. Don't open the door, they all said together. Meanwhile, while the wicked queen had run all the way home and raced to her mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of us all? Sit down, your majesty, it's still Snow White. The next day, the queen was back at the cottage with a poison cob, but Snow White refused to let her in. You can look, can't you? Said the queen, holding a sparkly cob to the window. Snow White was entranced. Forgetting her promise, she opened the door. Quicker than a bee, the queen darted inside and stuck the cob in Snow White's hair. The poison worked at once and she fell to the floor. As soon as the dwarfs saw Snow White, they knew the queen had returned. Look what she's done now, said one, taking out the cob. Snow White moaned, Oh, my head. You must be more careful, the dwarf warned her. The queen will try again. Don't open the door. The magic apple. Before you asked, it's still Snow White. At the palace, the queen's heart has eaten up with envy. She hated being the second fairest. Angrily, she set to work on the worst spell yet. In a secret room, the queen made a magic apple. It looked so delicious, whoever saw it would have to eat it. But she dipped one half poison. Then she dressed up as a farmer's wife and went to the cottage once more. I won't buy anything, the Snow White called out to her, and I mustn't open the door. I'm not selling, said the queen quickly. I just thought you'd like to share this apple. She held up a shiny red apple. Very juicy, she added. She took a large bite out of one side and licked her lips. Here, try this side. It does look good, agreed Snow White, and took a bite too. That instant she fell to the ground in a crumpy heap. The Snow White laughed. White as snow, red as blood, black as wood, and dead as dead. At last, I'm the most beautiful woman in the world. A prince rides by. Not again, groaned a dwarf when he saw Snow White scalped on the floor, but this time they couldn't help her. No belt, no cob, she's dead. beautiful," sobbed the youngest dwarf. "We can't bury her." So they laid her in a glass coffin, and they wrote the Princess Snow White upon it. Here, the glass coffin. They placed the coffin on a nearby hill and took turns keeping watch. Snow White had been there for over a year when a prince rode by. He saw her skin as white as snow, her lips as red as blood, and her hair as black as ebony, and he fell in love. Leaping from his horse, he knelt by the coffin. "She's beautiful," he said to the dwarf guarding her. "Please let me take her to the palace." "What? No! I want to build a splendid tomb for her," said the prince. "A princess belongs in a palace." The dwarf argued with the prince all day, but by sunset they agreed. Almost at once he was back with servants to carry the coffin. As they lifted one trip, the coffin slipped off. The apple flew from Snow White's mouth. To their astonishment, she opened her eyes. The prince was overjoyed. He flung open the coffin, swept her up, and carried to his horse. "Where am I? Who are you?" "I am a prince who wants to marry you." Meanwhile, the queen was going back to her mirror. "Snow White is the fairest. Ask me another," said the mirror saucily before she could speak. With a furious cry, the queen smashed her mirror into 1,000 pieces, and 1,000 glass splintered torches. Snow White is still the fairest of them all. End of story. This is like kind of different from what the other Snow White I read. I think the other Snow White was the smaller one. In the other Snow White, I just saw Snow White eat an apple. I didn't saw she had a silk or she had a comb. So it was long reading this, but I still liked it. Anyway, so the 7 dwarfs liked Snow White, and the prince liked Snow White too. But the queen did not like Snow White. She kept asking the mirror the same question. The mirror was like really every time knows what queen will ask. Who is the fairest? And he always answered, Snow White is the fairest. So now I'm going to say bye-bye.